For me, it's been, and it still is, and I'm still very scared of the future with him. I think that's where a lot of my grief is now, knowing that he won't marry or have children of his own, or that he may live with us for his whole life. You know, I still, I mean, and Harrison, our older son, is so smart and has grown up with Dravet since the age of 3, and he still will say, "What do you mean he's not getting married?" You know, it doesn't always click. So when that really sunk in for me, and just, you know, he was a totally typical baby till his first seizure, really till he was 2, even with the seizures, he wasn't showing any signs of, you know, delayed development. And then you're trying to raise a child and do everything right and make sure they get all the therapies and play catch up, while trying to process what has transpired and where your life may be going, and you don't know. The unknown for me is really hard still.
Yes, I grieved in the beginning, but I think the whole thing is a grieving process, because it's constantly, you know, this syndrome isn't like, okay, you had your first seizure, okay, now you're diagnosed, now you got a little bit better, and that's that. It's day to day.
I think you have to grieve it. I think you have to. For me, it's not so much how it's changed me, but it's looking at this sweet little boy and saying, are there opportunities he's not going to get? And maybe he's young enough and I'm deluded enough that I haven't accepted all of that yet, that I still, in my heart, have my hopes set on maybe. I mean, he's never going to play in the NFL, but that was a virtue of being my son. He might not have anyway.
Yeah. You know, no, but that's good. It's good. It's good.
But I think I'm still kind of coming to terms with that. But at the same time, I mean, I do hold on to hope that he will have lots of opportunities, and the medical improvements that we're seeing and the medicines that are out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Are incredible. But you know what? No matter what, and this gets back to the key point, no matter what things are taken away from him because of this, he can still be happy. He can still have a happy life, find things that he enjoys, and make a meaningful difference in other people's lives. And at the end of the day, my job's to help him do that.
There's a lot of heavy feelings with this, but I had a conversation with another Dravet mom once. And one of the things she mentioned, and like it kind of really resonated with me, is this is your child's journey, but it's also your journey as their parent. And it changes you, right? Mm-hmm. So I think, you know, that grief and that heaviness, it's with you, and I see it too with the people present in the room, like you also become, I think, almost like a stronger, better version of yourself that you wouldn't have been before. And not that that's the way we want it to happen, right?
No, but the perspective it's given us.
Yes.
You can't, there's no other way to get that perspective as a parent, and that's been a huge thing. I mean, a very important lesson for me as a parent, and it just changes like all the nonsense that a lot of parents get bogged down in. You just laugh and you're like, you have no idea.
Like really?
This is not a big picture thing.
You hear all the time, how do you do it every day?
Oh, yeah.
Every day you hear that, and I'm always like, you just do it. Like, I didn't get training for this, you just
These
do
are
it.
the cards we were dealt, and you know, you just gotta, everyone has bad days. I mean, we all have bad days. You gotta pick yourself up, and they have bad days, so do we, you know, and do the best you can. And I think I've found comfort, and this was a big lesson for me. It was just not, in the early years, I always want to push him to be his best, most successful self. Right. I always want him to do the best he can and try to meet that next goal. But at the same time, I want to give him space to just be a kid and not always have to be in therapy and not always have to, you know, like it's okay for him to have a down day. And, you know, it was hard for me because I'm such like a doer. Like once he got into grade school, it was kind of like, we need to stop filling the weekends with every single thing. Like he can't be doing extra therapy all weekend. He needs to just have a break. And that's okay too, is like taking a step back, doing the best you can as a parent. If you can't get them to that 10th therapy session a week or whatever it is, like that's not, it's like you were saying, Lauren, about it being beneficial. It has to be beneficial.
Right.
If it's not beneficial, why are you pushing so hard to do it? That was hard for me for a while, you know, and I had to relearn, like, it's okay, like, stop, like, it's okay. Like, it gives you a break as well.
Listen to, of course, to all the medical advice and watch out for the child that way, but push them to just be kids. Don't let them miss out on that, because I think Lena has a little bit. So don't let them miss out on being kids.